check this out. That's beautiful. The CarPlay feature is amazing, but this is the main reason I got it. Welcome back, everyone. So typically I only do performance modifications, but since this basically gives me MHD gauges into my dash, I decided to do this modification. Now I have here the Avin little head unit thing, whatever it is. It replaces my factory iDrive. The only reason I held off on it is because all the head units seem to not play nice with the Logic 7 system, which I do have in my car. Now a lot of people have told me that the Avin one actually plays nice with Logic 7 and it will not ruin sound quality. So I'm gonna go ahead and test that. But again, sound quality is not my biggest concern. I just want my MHD gauges to work on my iDrive unit. That's the biggest reason I'm doing this upgrade. Now keep in mind, I'm not sponsored by any means by Avin, however it's said. Keep in mind, just because I can do the gauges doesn't mean I can do flashes with MHD. I still have to use my phone if I want to change my tune. So this is supposed to be the not drop shipped item. This is supposed to work nice with everything. Unlike the Alibaba setups, this is supposed to work perfectly. So we got a bunch of cables here. I did order a backup camera for my build. This is the backup camera right here. I also got some other goodies. Looks like a bunch of this stuff I could have just gotten off of eBay, not gonna lie. And here's the actual unit. The only reason I didn't go for an eBay or Alibaba build is simply because it doesn't play well with Logic 7. Yeah, right there we can see. And there's like an Avin warranty thing. Yes, this does look a little different from the Alibaba one. It'll give me touchscreen and a bunch of Android features, which is pretty cool. I can insert a micro SIM card there, but I'm not gonna do that. TF card, TF. That's a storage card, like a micro SD. Resolution 1280 by 480. What are we, like in 2010? So there's the first sign of quality right there. It'll all be plug and play. Saved me a bunch of time. There's a ton of freaking cables here, man. First things first. Oh. Alright, just gonna yank up on there, on the clips. Little neat place to store stuff, huh? And got this pry tool. Reach down, pry this up. Not too complicated. Okay, so I have my auxiliary connected now. I can definitely got enough space to run it all the way through this. Alright, this pin right here, push this down like so, and pull back. Not too worried about breaking that because there's no screws or nothing. I'll go ahead and pull this wire out. Nice. Take this T10. I'm going to do the two on top over there. We got a bunch of clips here. Hold everything in place. I'm just going to pop everything right out. Alright, check out this little cool thing I want to show off real quick. That Redline adapter, my phone mounts like right to that, and there's like a bolt right there that holds it in. It's really neat. 4 Phillips screws, let's freaking go. I love my power tools, y'all. I didn't really have this growing up, so I love using them. This should just pop out like that. Neat. Ooh. Disconnect all these wiring. There's a lot. There it is. Woo, you are a pain. So this one's got a little lever right here. I can kind of move it right here. You want to make sure to undo that. Pins, levers, whatever they are right here. You want to press on those before you pull it out. This blue one for sure is kind of a pain to move that little pin These two were on top, they were kind of easy. This one was easy. This black one's a pain in the ass. And this lever, it's gonna like make some little clicky sounds here. Like locks into place. You wanna press right here before you pull it out. And then it'll yank, come out a little bit, and then you just undo, like so. Move this little lever. All right, congratulations, you made it this far. You're not scared off completely. It's kind of just like plug and play with everything. You know we'll plug and play with each other. If you're watching this video, you basically already know some things or two about cars. It's gonna be a lot of tucking I'm gonna have to do inside of there. So this will adapt the OEM harness on here. This will plug right back into the unit. This crap will just run back, and we'll have to run it up through here, which is actually genuinely a pain in the butt. I'm gonna disconnect this cheap little piece. Cheap junk, honestly. I'm not too excited about having this. But I know this has to come all the way up because one of the Avin plugins right here goes right to there. This is my start-stop button. I went ahead and pushed on these two clips to yank it out of the little plastic trim over there. I'm gonna plug it back in so we can try and test this out before we proceed any further with installation. All right, so right here, there's some white paint right over there, as you can see. I took this little tool right here, the sharp edge. I went from the inside and I yanked out this green and black cable because this needs to connect directly to your iDrive system, which is right here. And it can't go through the Avin adapter. So I went ahead, yoinked that out, and I put it right in here. As you can see, the green and black, and it'll connect into the iDrive directly. It cannot go through the Avin adapter. After I've done that, I'm gonna plug the Avin adapter right back in, like so. It's just gonna make it a big old mess of wires, essentially. So once that's done, we're gonna go ahead and test the Avin unit. I wanna go ahead and plug this in. As we can already see, starting up. Nice. Go ahead and plug in the factory iDrive real quick. Go grab my key. Classy. Yeah, she looks real nice and cheap. No, she don't even want to stay on, it looks like. No, I don't want to uninstall this app. What's going on here? No signal. So this is me trying to open up the factory iDrive. Pretty nice and smooth. That refresh rate, it's probably like 60, no, it's at least 100. Alright. Let's see. Is that blue? This looks so cheap. Alright. Yep. Looks like my factory iDrive does work with it. Okay. So far, decent. Got my little pry tool. Dig into the dash a little bit. Undo these clips. I'm gonna take the glove box out basically as I scratch it. Should be a really simple thing taking these out. Glove box out. And this is gonna give me some more room for wiring down here. Grab all this out. So I've taken this from earlier, routed it through here. I'm just gonna try and route it up here. So the only wire we should really have up here is this, like my backup one, my backup camera connection right here. Gonna be down here to stay out of the way of everything else. It's gonna be really cramped. This is all the wires that we're gonna have back here, plus more. So you have the GPS stuff and whatnot. So let's go ahead and figure out how to get these out of the way. So I got this stupid Avin GPS unit. Same thing. I'm just gonna run it through here and have it into the glove box. And then there's one more unit that I have to put. I really don't want to. It's this stupid long stick. Whatever this pile of crap does. This is for the rear backup camera, totally optional. This is something I'm gonna do another time. So I have CIC and I had to plug it in over there at the bottom. You can see the blue and the pink mismatch. Make sure you know what's correct for yours. So if you have CCC, you have to plug in there. You have a different connection than me, but yeah, the colors mismatch. That's totally fine. That's really all it took to get my factory iDrive working, because I did not have my factory iDrive working. It was a pain in the butt to try to figure out. I'm gonna worry about running this wire concealed after I test this. Wow, that is very horrible sound quality. That is terrible. Let me try replacing that aux cable, because that was genuinely awful. Like, wow, that sounds even worse. All right, so from here, we're gonna go ahead and go into CD multimedia and make sure that the aux active, this volume thing is set here. Anything higher or anything around over this, it's gonna sound really bad. So this is all the sound issues that everyone's been complaining about with the Avin units. Just make sure that the sound is set to this with the volume. I figured it out. Gonna mess with some sound settings, change things up how you want. Logic 7 you kind of want to keep. Luckily it all works. You just need a new auxiliary. But yeah, I mean, audio quality's good. You also need to do one more thing, and that's going to be going into your settings and go to your equalizer and then play around with that sound. It's gonna make things a lot better. Or you can just turn it off, but I found it to be better on the heavy metal genre, which heavy metal has never failed me in my life. Heavy metal saves. You must buy another auxiliary cable because the one that Avin sends you sucks. Because of that, it does sound a lot better. But again, you need to get a better quality aux cable, which is exactly what I have here. And I had to go through about 4 auxiliary cables. I threw most of them away. There's one of them that I tried using. And then you need to freaking figure out how to work it through here, which I will do right now. All right, next part. Let's remove the freaking coin holder right there. Looks like a vent. No, that's actually where you put your quarters. Check this out. Ah. Yeah. Come on. I'll go ahead and pull this out. Yes. Like that. Basically, I'm gonna route this here. I really do want to have my coin holder back, so I'm gonna try to do that as well. Alright, now I'm gonna go ahead, run this aux cable through here, and you can kind of see it coming in right now. There you go. Now we got that stealth going on. Quick reminder again, I hate this Burger Motorsport short shifter kit. Do not buy it ever. Alright, so I ran this aux cable. Here's the aux cable. And I'll be right back to installing everything else in a whole nother video. I mean, let's just get the essentials up and running. It's just auxiliary. I don't need GPS, I don't need anything like that. I just want my auxiliary and my Carplay and my MHD gauges. I'll get the dash cam and the rear backup cam later. I just want to get the essentials. Just an FYI, when you're pushing this back in after you do your aux cable, be really careful. I severed that little green one I mentioned earlier. You can see I went out and had to buy a new one. This is frustrating. Alright, so now that you've gotten this far, congratulations. You're almost done. So let's go ahead and restart mine. I put my own little custom boot logo right there. Now that logo does come built into the Avin unit. Yeah, and then it just does not look good. So I'm gonna go ahead and change my display. Okay, let's see. So now that you've gotten this far, you're gonna go ahead and modify some things to make it look better. So you're gonna go in the factory. You're gonna enter the code that they're gonna give you, which once your unit arrives, send them an email and ask them for the code. At most 30 minutes for them to get back to you with the code. Alright, so my code was 2846. 1314 will work as well. So let's see what if 1314 works. Nope. So mine is 2846, like a plus. And you can go in here and start adjusting some settings. Perfect. Look at that. So yeah, that's your basic setup right there. I'll be making some more videos about this the more questions I get. Hopefully answering any questions, hopefully helping anyone else out. Decent unit. Still a bunch of bugs and everything I'm going to get to, but yeah, I just tried all these different ones and eventually I found that this one will work for me to get my factory iDrive to work onto this unit. You can change a whole bunch of other settings. Mine is set to CIC because that's what mine is at. My microphone gain, I should probably adjust it up a little more because no one can hear me talk when I'm on the phone using the factory iDrive. Got a bunch of other settings here. Feel free to play around with this as you want. I just wanted to make sure everyone knows what they're doing so they can get it up and running. The really important part is getting your factory iDrive up and running so you can have your settings. You can see, you know, what kind of codes you're having, what your oil level is, because all that is not available on your Avin unit. This kind of stuff is not available using the Avin unit, sadly. Touchscreen doesn't work when you're using the old iDrive, by the way. It'll just take you back to the home menu. So there's that. If you also want to go back to the home menu, you just hold this down. 1, 2, 3, and you're back there. And then if you want to go back, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, and you're right back in the iDrive. So the only part that sucks about this Avin unit is that when I'm trying to flash tunes, that's not possible. It's good for data logging, reading your codes, and clearing your codes. But if you're gonna try and tune on it, don't try that. It's got a lot of bugs. There's a lot of things that need to be set up, which I'm gonna record another video about doing that at another time. For right now, I'm just happy to have the basics, happy to have the wireless CarPlay, happy to have my gauges right there. Makes my life a lot easier. And not only that, it just looks significantly better than how it did before. But like I said, I'm gonna try tweaking with it a little bit more. But for now, I'll enjoy it.